Tinnitus relief through yoga. Top benefits backed by practice. After working with hundreds of tinnitus sufferers implementing yoga-based approaches, several questions consistently arise from newcomers to the practice. These questions reflect common concerns and misconceptions about how yoga might interact with tinnitus management. Understanding these basics can help you approach your practice with realistic expectations and optimal safety. Many people worry about potential risks or contraindications when beginning any new health practice while managing a chronic condition. Rest assured that yoga is generally considered extremely safe for tinnitus sufferers when approached mindfully and with proper guidance. The following questions address the most common concerns I encounter from those considering yoga as part of their tinnitus management approach. Is special training required to teach yoga for tinnitus sufferers? Can yoga help with pulsatile tinnitus? Tinnitus synchronized with heartbeat? Will inversions make tinnitus worse? How does yoga compare to medication for tinnitus relief? Can children with tinnitus benefit from yoga practice? Beyond these common questions, remember that individual experiences with both tinnitus and yoga vary widely. What works tremendously well for one person may offer minimal benefits to another. This individuality underscores the importance of personalizing your practice and remaining open to adjusting your approach based on your body's responses. The questions and answers below provide general guidance, but your personal experience remains the most important measure of what's beneficial for your unique situation. For more information, you can explore how yoga can help treat tinnitus. The adaptability of yoga is one of its greatest strengths as a tinnitus management approach. How long before I notice improvements in my tinnitus symptoms from yoga? Most practitioners begin noticing subtle changes in their relationship with tinnitus after 2-3 weeks of consistent practice, at least 3 to 4 sessions weekly. These initial improvements typically manifest as brief periods where you realize you haven't been aware of your tinnitus, rather than a constant reduction in symptoms. The research indicates that more substantial and consistent benefits usually emerge around the 8 to 12 week mark. With the 2019 Polish study documenting significant improvements in tinnitus functional index scores after 12 weeks of regular practice. The timeline varies considerably based on several factors, including your tinnitus severity, underlying causes, consistency of practice, and individual physiology. Some people experience noticeable relief after their very first session, particularly if stress is a major trigger for their symptoms. Others find that benefits accumulate more gradually over months of dedicated practice. Patience and consistency are key. The research strongly suggests that regular practice over time yields more substantial results than sporadic, intensive sessions. It's worth noting that improvements often occur in stages, with different aspects of the tinnitus experience changing at different rates. Many practitioners report that emotional reactivity to tinnitus, feeling upset or anxious when it's noticeable, improves before actual perceptual changes in volume or quality. This emotional regulation benefit can significantly improve quality of life even if the tinnitus itself remains audible. Can yoga completely cure my tinnitus? Yoga should not be viewed as a cure for tinnitus, but rather as an effective management strategy that can significantly reduce its impact on your life. The current scientific consensus is that most forms of chronic tinnitus cannot be completely eliminated, but their intrusiveness and distress can be dramatically reduced through appropriate interventions. Yoga excels as one such intervention, addressing many of the factors that amplify tinnitus perception and distress without claiming to eliminate the underlying neurological mechanisms completely. That said, certain forms of temporary or situation-specific tinnitus, particularly those triggered primarily by stress, tension, or reduced circulation, may resolve completely with regular yoga practice. The research studies documenting yoga's benefits for tinnitus have shown substantial improvements in symptoms for many participants, with some reporting periods where they no longer notice their tinnitus at all. Do I need special equipment to practice yoga for tinnitus relief? One of yoga's great advantages as a tinnitus management approach is its minimal equipment requirements. A basic yoga mat provides sufficient cushioning for most practices, though even this is optional if you're practicing on carpeted flooring. For restorative poses that involve longer holds, additional props like a firm blanket, a couple of firm pillows or yoga blocks, and a yoga strap, or regular belt, can enhance comfort and effectiveness. These items help maintain proper alignment without strain, allowing deeper relaxation that maximizes the nervous system benefits, particularly relevant to tinnitus relief. For those practicing yoga specifically for tinnitus management, sound-related equipment might be worth considering. Some practitioners find that having a white noise machine or nature sounds playing softly during practice enhances their ability to focus, especially in the beginning stages. Others prefer complete quiet to better observe the relationship between their practice and tinnitus perception. Experiment with both approaches to discover which creates the most beneficial experience for your unique situation. Is yoga safe for people with hearing aids or cochlear implants? Yoga can be practiced safely and effectively by people with hearing aids or cochlear implants with some minor modifications. For hearing aid users, the main consideration is moisture management during more vigorous practices that might cause sweating. Some practitioners prefer to remove their hearing aids during yoga sessions to eliminate feedback issues that might occur during certain movements, while others find that keeping them in helps them follow the instructor's guidance more easily. If practicing with hearing aids in, avoid poses that put pressure directly on the ears, such as traditional side-lying positions, opting instead for modified versions that keep weight off the devices. For more information on how these devices work, you can read about tinnitus masking hearing aids. For those with cochlear implants, the primary considerations relate to external components and head positioning. Most yoga poses are completely compatible with implants, but those involving significant inversions or pressure on the implant site may need modification, particularly during the healing phase after implantation. Headstands and full shoulder stands are generally not recommended, but modified versions like legs up the wall provide similar circulatory benefits without putting pressure on the implant area. Always inform your yoga instructor about your implant so they can suggest appropriate modifications for your specific situation. Should I consult my doctor before starting yoga for tinnitus? While yoga is generally very safe, consulting with your healthcare provider before beginning any new exercise regimen is always prudent, especially if you have underlying health conditions beyond tinnitus. This conversation is particularly important if your tinnitus is related to Meniere's disease, vestibular disorders, or cardiovascular conditions, as certain yoga practices might need specific modifications to accommodate these conditions. Your doctor can provide personalized guidance based on your complete medical history and may have valuable insights about how yoga might interact with other treatments you're receiving. During this consultation, ask specifically about any movement restrictions or precautions related to your tinnitus or its underlying causes. For instance, if your tinnitus is associated with temporomandibular joint (TMJ) issues, your provider might recommend avoiding poses that put pressure on the jaw. Similarly, those with cervical spine problems might need modifications for certain neck movements. Having this information before beginning your practice allows you to communicate effectively with yoga instructors about necessary adaptations.